by the Finance Minister of Gujarat, requesting for a reconsideration of the September 2021 decision taken in the Council. And that decision was taken more in the process of correcting the inversion in the tax structure. Inversion exists in so many different items, different levels, and the layer of complexity also vary from item to item. But since 2019, there were about 10 items approximately on which every sitting of the council, barring one, I think, which was on the compensation cess, every session since 2019, the council had considered on those items in which detailed presentations were made by the Secretariat on where the inversion was and how much, as a result, refunds were going out, and as to what revenue was not actually being generated. So if you remember, sometime early 20, much before the lockdown set in, there was a GST Council meeting also held in Vigyan Bhavan, where, in spite of the fact that there were several items on which the discussion had happened, just on the mobile telephone, a decision was taken, saying, yes, the correction has to happen. Post which, every sitting, as a part of the duty, the Secretariat would highlight to the Council as to where the corrections are and would the Council consider wanting to do the correction. And each time the Council, in its wisdom, said maybe not now, but yes, we agree there is an inversion. So in September in the Lucknow meet, the issue again came up and it was decided that correction be made in several items, some of which came into effect immediately, and some others, like these two, were pending for 1st January implementation, which is coming up tomorrow. Between September and, say, early December, there wasn't anything to be talked about or to be considered. But from December, and actually during the session of the Parliament, representations started coming. Some delegations also came and met me. And on the 29th, the letter also comes from the Chief Minister, from the Finance Minister of Gujarat. And therefore the emergency meeting. And what are the decisions of the emergency meeting, Council's meeting today? That we retain the status quo and not go to 12% from 5%, meaning don't do the correction now. In the case of textile, textile was the only issue of this discussion in this emergency meet. Then, because again it's a question of inversion, several ministers also spoke about what are the long-term ways in which the Council is going to look at correcting these kind of things, and also have a plan for revenue generation. There, as you all know, there is already a committee to look at the rate rationalization being headed by the then Finance Minister of Karnataka, who incidentally is the Chief Minister of Karnataka now. So under his convenership, there is a committee which is looking into rate rationalization, and it was decided today in the emergency meeting that textile again will be also put to the committee to review it along with the other items which they are anyway now reviewing. And the decision of the committee was that, one, it will go to that Rate Rationalization Committee to also include textile in their review and submit a report by February, which I agreed to have it circulated to all the ministers, and post that to hold either end February or sometime in March, post that report coming, a council meeting in which the committee's recommendations and committee's report itself be discussed. That will be on every item, but today we've included even textile back again. That exactly is what is there to report from today's emergency council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll now take questions. Okay, 120.
Ma'am, Timsi Jaipurya, this side from CNBC TV 18. Given that now the committee will give a report, is there any quantum of how much worth of credits? Because this inversion was actually causing a hardship to the industry in terms of claiming the ITC credits. So is there any quantum that we have that how much of credits would this inversion mean outgo from the government coffers or from the collections? Because there was a proposal earlier also on correcting this duty where it was felt that ITC is getting leaked to those whom it is not due. So any point or any quantum over there? Also, secondly, why did the council not consider a similar correction on footwear? Because footwear is also a common use item, especially that too below 1,000 rupees per pair. I understand from state finance ministers that even that was being asked, though it was not on the agenda, but it was being discussed, but no decision over there. Why so?
Yes, no, there's the decision on it.
Any quantum on the
No.
Okay, 175.
Ma'am, Shubham here from the print. Ma'am, what was the rationale given by the states, and especially the letter that came to you, on why there should be a deferment on this, on GST on textiles to 12%?
Well, the letter per se didn't have any rationale except for saying that it may not be the best time to do it now. Industry is in difficulty, and fairly generic. The industry, while representing inter alia, felt that there could be a temptation not to come into the system, meaning into the formalized system, and the immediate pressure could mean that many of them would go into informal ways of doing business, and please, it may not be possible now to do it. That was one of the things which, and also the second was it would burden the lower end of the buyers. Whilst that wasn't the intent. That wasn't the intent, and it wasn't decided by any one person. It wasn't decided by any one minister, nor was it decided alone by any one minister, nor was it decided by one sitting of the council. Several sitting of the council, several aspects of what governs inversion, and several consideration, honestly, even that consideration, that would it hurt the end consumer, were all in detail discussed. And detail discussed each sitting, as I said. And at no point in time did anyone question the arguments of what an inversion does to the tax structure. Not at any one point in time in any one of the several sittings was there this question that, no, the arguments being put forward are not valid. Actually, the inversion is not hurting revenue. And the inversion is actually incentivizing any one particular section or anything of that kind. So the reason why I'm elaborating this in the reply to your question is there is a complete consensus that inversion hurts everybody. However, that one particular layer within the entire value chain of the textile may end up having some of its items becoming slightly more expensive. When the details actually have been discussed, as it prevails now, the inversion gets corrected if there was to be a rate, let us say, of 7 to 8%. The GST structure gives you only a 5% or a 12% or an 18% or a 28%. Some exceptional one or two categories would have 1 or 2% down, which is just exclusive to them. In this, the understanding the rationale which goes into the mathematics of it clearly identifies, and even there is a sense that if there were to be a rate which is 7 or 8%, you'd probably correct the imbalance or the inversion. However, these are nitty-gritties and these are details of the whole thing. The overriding push was probably because a certain segment of the industry felt it would immediately cause an increase in the price. And there's no arguing. If that's the case, we'll have to. And that is why it has gone back to the committee to actually do more in-depth study and come and present it to the council all over again.
Number 90.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Shishir here from Hindu Business Line. I'm just taking forward what Timsi asked about the footwear sector. There is the same problem. The prices will go up of most of the products which are below 1,000 rupees prices. So even there, the problem persists like the textile industry. And my second question is that
So what's that question there?
The question is that why footwear has been spared. I mean,
That's all right. I've answered that. Go to the second, please.
Second question is that GOM, which you have said that will submit 2 reports, one on textile specifically, and then the entire rate rationalization, or that will be part of the whole?
That will be part of the whole. That is what I said. The council decided that in reviewing many things that they would add this also into what they are doing.
125.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Ruchi Bhatia. Some of the states have also asked for extension of compensation beyond 2022. This has been something that has been talked about for a very long time. But given the fact that we are seeing the GST revenues pretty healthy, do you see the need for increasing compensation beyond 2022? And also any impact of Omicron variant of the virus that you see on the revenue collections in the coming months?
Yes, you're right. Some of the ministers today, whilst admitting that that is not the agenda, also mentioned about it. We've heard them. That wasn't the agenda, so there wasn't any response from our side on that. There wasn't any discussion on the Omicron.
78.
Ma'am, Girish from MID, my question is also related to compensation. Is there any chance or likelihood of council looking at or considering the proposal for or request for further extension of the compensation, ma'am?
Compensation? What is, your voice was not clear. Can you repeat?
Sorry, ma'am. Girish from Mint. My question is also about GST compensation. At least, is there any chance of it being discussed in the council going forward, ma'am?
At the moment, I have nothing before me.
Okay, 79.
मैम शैलेश यादव हूँ मैं ANI न्यूज़ एजेंसी से। मैम कन्नौज और कानपुर में अभी छापे चल रहे थे जिसमें DGGI ने करीब 200 करोड़ का कैश पकड़ा हुआ है, तो उसकी छानबीन कहाँ तक पहुँची कि वो पैसा किसका है, कुछ पता चला है ऐसा क्या, और कितने की टैक्स चोरी हुई है? और आज जो है एक MLC के यहाँ जो है छापे चल रहे हैं, इनकम टैक्स ने करे हुए हैं, उसमें क्या जानकारी निकल के सामने आ रही है?
इमरजेंसी जीएसटी काउंसिल टेक्सटाइल के ऊपर था।
मैम टेक्सटाइल पे सब बोल ही दिया आपने।
वो पहले होने दीजिए, मैं जवाब देती हूँ, मगर ये पहले होने दीजिए।
Yeah, number 11.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. Sapna here from CNBC. Sapna here from CNBC, ma'am. Good afternoon. Ma'am, just wanted to understand from you the way the situation is.
Can you be a bit louder? I can't hear.
Sorry. I just wanted to understand from your point of view, ma'am, the way the situation is panning out right now, and we are talking of rate rationalizations. So, one big ticket item, textile, is deferred. Footwear also, there could be a review at some point in time. So what I'm trying to ask is that the overall roadmap on duty inversions at the moment, the report is out sometime, I suppose, in Feb, as you were indicating. So, ma'am, do you think this is the right time for all of this, and there could be some more deferment in terms of, the bigger calls about, rate rationalizations or some tweaking here and there? Because we are almost in the midst of the third wave, ma'am. Just wanted to ask that. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, that's a matter for the council to consider, right? That's a matter for the council to consider if this is the right time for duty inversion, correction, or everything that you referred in your question. This is a council matter, and the council is the best placed in deciding whether they want to do it this way or that way, or whether this is the appropriate time. They will consider it.
If there are no more questions, we'll close the press conference now. Thank you. Okay, sorry. 42.
मैडम राजीव दैनिक जागरण से मेरा सवाल है कि जैसा आपने कहा कि टेक्सटाइल पे जो ड्यूटी लगाया गया 5 से 12% 1000 रुपये से कम कीमत वाले गारमेंट पे, तो इस पे बार बार आपने डिस्कशन किया, कई 2019 से ही लगातार काउंसिल की बैठक में डिस्कशन होता रहा, फिर फैसला लिया गया और फिर आपने नोटिफाई किया, तो फिर अचानक सितंबर के बाद से अचानक कई स्टेट्स, जैसा कि पश्चिम बंगाल वाले भी बोले या छत्तीसगढ़ के मुख्यमंत्री भी बोल रहे थे, फिर आपने गुजरात का भी नाम, और भी कई स्टेट्स हैं और भी कई इंडस्ट्री बॉडी है, तो उनको उस समय भी तो पता था 2019 से, तो फिर अचानक ऐसा क्या हुआ कि विरोध होने लगा? दूसरा, क्या वाकई में बहुत हिस्सेदारी है जो अफेक्टेड हो रहे थे, और कितना प्राइस बढ़ जाता है? इस पे भी कुछ बात आई सामने काउंसिल?
नहीं, एक मिनट। इन्वर्शन है और उसको सही करना है, उस बात में सब आज भी सहमत है, और तब से लेकर के आज तक उसका और उस जैसे बहुत सारे आइटम्स के ऊपर जहां इन्वर्शन है उसको करेक्ट करने का भी आवश्यकता को काउंसिल रिकॉग्नाइज करता है। उसमें करेक्ट करने में एक एक आइटम के ऊपर सोच विचार करके डिसीजन लेते हैं काउंसिल में, जैसे आपको मालूम है। इसीलिए मैंने भी दोहराया कि मोबाइल फोन के ऊपर 20 में अर्ली 20 में उसका सहमति मिली। आइटम वाइज जब, और सही भी है, आइटम वाइज सोच विचार करके फैक्ट्स और अध्ययन को सामने रखते हुए डिसीजन लेता है काउंसिल। इसके ऊपर डिसीजन सितंबर में इसी कारण के वर्ष लिया गया है कि इंप्लीमेंट करो 1 जनवरी से। इसको अभी पुनर्विचार करने के लिए कमेटी के हाथों में दोबारा भेजा गया है। यही हुआ है।
Number 5.
Yeah, good afternoon, Minister. I wanted to ask you, ma'am, are you saying that the work done on textile was sketchy, which was put before the council? You not done proper groundwork before you took that decision? Number 2 is I'm just digressing on, with the economy still fragile, economic recovery, we're seeing high inflation, we're seeing high rate of unemployment. Plus, there's also RBI saying that NPS could again go by next year to 10% levels. So do you see the next coming year as a challenging and an uncertain period?
First thing.
And are you worried on all this?
First thing on the textile. The intensive study that the department or the secretariat or the GSTN by providing the data to the Secretariat, the fitment committee, the technical committee, all of which study it in detail, doesn't consist of just one or two people. It consists of representatives at a very senior level from the officials. Minimum of 7-8 states are represented. And also when they sit and look into the data, they look at it from a very many different angles. The concerned ministries also give input. Concerned states where that particular sector is dominant, they also give their input. The official who represents is also most often from that state as well. So when they look at the details, they don't look at it flimsily. They do look at it in all its complexity. Now, textile has very many strands: man-made fiber, blended fabric, which is more cotton plus man-made fiber, then purely cotton, and within cotton, powerloom, then within cotton also handloom, powerloom again in all these, fiber which is let us say man-made, which is cotton, yarn, silk, some of the plant fibers like banana or jute. Now, at various stages, they are taxed for the yarn, then the fabric, then the garment which is made out of it, and so on. So there is across different segments, vertically different segments. Taxation goes by the item head. In yarn, what you do, in fabric, what you do, and then when it is finished, what you do, and then finished with extra embellishment, what you do, and so on. So sorry, I'm just taking a minute to explain the complexity of taxation and textiles. So when we talk of textile, it's not like talking of, let us say, one atta which comes out of wheat, then maybe fortified atta. You know, only 2-3 stages. Here, the stages are across, the stages are vertical also. So item-wise, each of these are studied by the fitment committee. And the implications across, if you touch this, this gets hurt. If you touch that, that's also getting hurt, and so on. So it is not a black and white situation of you decided something, you're going back on it, didn't you think about it then, why you're thinking about it now, cannot be simply answered. It requires a lot of explaining for each one of them. And I want to credit the council for having looked at it in its complexity then, even before, and even now saying, please let the committee look at it again, because with objectivity, these things will have to be worked out. And therefore, they've asked the committee to look at it. Well, there are questions. People ask me about Omicron, they ask me about inflation. I think I have fairly sort of explained it. Omicron and the speed with which it's spreading has made everybody sit and pause for a minute and see what the way in which it's going. I was grateful that the Prime Minister came up front and reassured the nation that there is no need to panic. However, we have to still follow all the protocols. And also has announced the vaccination program for frontline workers again, and also making sure the 15 to 18 age groups also will get covered. So with our levels of caution kept on board, and even as it is for youth to get covered with vaccine, I think with each of our efforts, sabka prayas, we should be able to face it. Well, I wouldn't be able to predict. I'm not going to have to predict at this time, particularly when I'm preparing for the budget. So it may not be right for me to give any picture of what is going on.
Thank you, friends. With no more questions, ma'am, I'll take the permission and close the press conference. Thank you, friends. And
oh, yeah.
Rate
yes.
reaction.
No, not rate reduction. He wanted something on the rates. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to repeat your question once more, please? I didn't hear it so much.
Already asked the question.
मैम, जो कानपुर में और कन्नौज में रेड चल रही थी डीजीजीआई की, जिसमें करीब 200 करोड़ का कैश बरामद हुआ है, तो उसके बारे में ये पता करना था कि कैश किसका है, अगर कुछ इसके बारे में जानकारी निकल के आई हो। और दूसरा, आज जो है समाजवादी पार्टी के एमएलसी के ऊपर सर्च हुई है, जो इत्र के कारोबारी हैं, उनके यहाँ से क्या जानकारी निकल के आ रही है?
लॉ एनफोर्सिंग एजेंसीज जब एक जगह पर छापा मारते हैं, am I right in English, हिंदी, इंटेलिजेंस उनके हाथ में रख के जाते हैं, जो एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस कहते हैं हम। इंटेलिजेंस हर दिन बहुत सारे मिलता रहते हैं, मगर उसमें से जो एक्शनेबल है उसके अनुसार जाते हैं किसी के यहाँ, उनके रिकॉर्ड्स देखने के लिए, उनके यहाँ चेक करने के लिए। ऐसे ही एक कारोबार था जो कानपुर में एक फ्रैग्रेंस परफ्यूम मैन्युफैक्चरर्स का यहाँ जाकर के जीएसटी का इंटेलिजेंस के इंफॉर्मेशन के तहत रेड हुआ, और उसके ऊपर इतनी सारे गलत फहमियां फैलाया गया 2 दिन पीछे। उसको एक्सप्लेन करते हुए कल एक प्रेस रिलीज भी आया है कि हमने इंफॉर्मेशन मिला, और वो भी एक ट्रक ड्राइवर और ट्रक का मूवमेंट के तहत अहमदाबाद में पकड़ा गया। उसको सामने रखते हुए जितनी भी हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन है उसके तहत जाकर उनके घर में सर्च हुई। सर्च होने के बाद खाली हाथ वापस आए क्या? जो भी इसके ऊपर टिप्पणी दे रहे हैं, मैं उनसे ये प्रश्न पूछना चाहती हूं, वो गए खाली हाथ आए क्या? फिर आप बोल सकते हैं ये गलत हुआ, और ये भी गलत फहमियां फैला सकते हैं कि किसी और के यहां करना था, इधर चले गए। भैया गए सही घर में गए, सही हर घर में सर्च हुआ, और निकलने के बाद प्रूव भी हो रही है कि जो इंफॉर्मेशन के तहत गए सही गए। आप इसको टैक्स इवेशन हो क्या कुछ हो बोलने के लिए ठीक है, मगर ये बात बोलना कि गलत घर में गए तो पैसा उनका है क्या? उनका पैसा उधर रखा गया क्या? इसका मतलब क्या है? किसका डिफेंड कर रहे हैं आप? नहीं, गलत बंदे के घर में गए। अरे गलत बंदे के यहां इतना पैसा मिलता है तो गलती आपका है क्या? उनका नहीं है? Politicization of such a thing also, इससे मैं क्या समझूं? He is scared? फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश अखिलेश यादव जी क्या इससे हिल गए क्या? उनको डर लग रही है क्या? उनका इसमें कुछ इंटरेस्ट है क्या? एक आदमी जिनके यहां 23 kgs ऑफ गोल्ड वैसे पड़ा हुआ है, आम नागरिक के यहां 23 kgs ऑफ गोल्ड बिठाकर आप कुछ देखभाल नहीं करोगे? आम आदमी के घर होते हैं क्या ऐसे? आपके यहां होते हैं, मेरे यहां तो नहीं होता है। और ऐसे चीजें पकड़ा गया और उसके बाद ये प्रश्न चिन्ह उठा रहे क्या? इनका कुछ इंटरेस्ट है क्या? नहीं तो क्यों हिल रहे हैं फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर उत्तर प्रदेश? और आज भी जहां इनकम टैक्स के रेड हो रही है, इंफॉर्मेशन है, एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस है, इसीलिए गए। और गए पूरे देश में इस सेक्टर में कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन मिलने के बाद गए हैं, मगर इनके पास जो गए हैं अनकनेक्टेड मटेरियल्स भी मिल रही है जी। पूरे विवरण मेरे पास नहीं है, चालू है काम उधर। ऐसे विषयों में जहां गलत दिखता है आपके सामने, लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी का प्रोफेशनलिज्म और समय पर गए और पकड़े, रेड हैंडेड पकड़े गए, उसके ऊपर आप प्रोफेशनलिज्म देखोगे कि उसमें पॉलिटिकल मतलब निकालने के लिए कुछ बोलोगे? इसको सही एकदम निंदा करना, मैं मानती हूं पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री उत्तर प्रदेश का अखिलेश यादव जी का कर्तव्य बनते हैं. इट इज हिज ड्यूटी टू कंडेम इट. ऐसे घर में पैसा, गोल्ड रखने वाले का वो थोड़ा सलाह देना चाहिए, भैया आप टैक्स के अनुसार, रूल्स के अनुसार जियो, ऐसे नहीं है. ना कि एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी के ऊपर शक पैदा करने वाले बात. He should not be raising doubts on the professionalism of organizations which have gone there and proven that house had the height of the wall is the height of the cash. ये प्रूफ है भैया कि लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी सही काम कर रहे हैं, अच्छे काम कर रहे हैं, गलत को पकड़ रहे हैं. How does he know? Does he know him so well that he keeps money with this man, with that man? किसका पैसा रखा हुआ उनको कैसे पता? पार्टनर है क्या? No, I'm asking you. If he's so sure to say it is बीजेपी का पैसा, इनको कैसे मालूम? दूसरे के पैसा उनके, आपके पास बगल में बैठे हुए हैं. नहीं नहीं, आपके पास नहीं है, मेरे पास भी नहीं है जी. मैं बात बोल रही हूं, अगर इतना पक्का वो बोल रहा है कि बीजेपी का पैसा है, इनको कैसे मालूम है? उनके पार्टनर है क्या ये? आप अगर किसी दूसरे के साथ पार्टनरशिप में बिजनेस चला रही हो तब भी मालूम होगा ना आपको इन आपके पैसा और आपके पार्टनर के पैसा कहाँ है. ये इनका पार्टनर होंगे, इसीलिए शायद इतना पक्का बोल पा रहे हैं कि शायद ये बीजेपी का पैसा है. मैं बोल रही हूं बीजेपी का पैसा नहीं है ये. इसमें पक्का रेड हैंडेड पकड़ा गया, इनके शायद पार्टनर हो, दोस्त हो, मुझे मालूम नहीं है. इसीलिए हिल गए हैं चीफ मिनिस्टर, former chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. He is shaken. गलत आपके यहाँ चोर आता है जी, उसी दिन पकड़ोगे कि नहीं नहीं, I can't catch him today, I'll have to see a मुहूर्त है. चुनाव आ रही है, मुहूर्त, इसीलिए पकड़ना नहीं है. मुहूर्त के बाद में पकड़ो चोर को. Come on. बात करने में भी जिम्मेदार लोग थोड़ा सोच विचार करके बात करने दें. Sorry?
Today is the last date of filing.
Yeah. Good that you asked me that question. Tarun, please.
Have you filed your ITR? So you are not an interested party, no? Look, the ITR return filing is going on very smoothly. Let me tell you, by 3 p.m., 5.62 crore returns have already been filed in total. And today itself, we have filed, people have filed more than 20 lakh returns, which is the highest. And in the last 1 hour, 3.44 lakh returns have been filed. So if returns are being filed in such numbers, I see no reason for anybody to claim. If people are claiming this, I don't know for what reason are they claiming it. My return filing, I should also tell you how does it compare with the last year. Last year on 30th of December, 4.83 crore returns were filed. This year, 5.43 returns have been filed. So 60 lakh more returns have been filed on the same day as compared to last year, when the last year also the closing date was the same. And by 31/12/20, it was 4.93, that is last year. And by now, as I've already told you, we have crossed a figure of 5.62 crores. And I expect another at least 20 to 25 lakh returns to come by 12 in the night. And I think the figures that we are anticipating would have come, and the return filing is going on very smoothly. There is absolutely no proposal to extend the date. And I'm sure through this message, the other people also would now be filing their returns. You tell me, the Omicron has come. How is Omicron stopping you? You are coming here. How is Omicron? You have to sit on your mobile or on your, not mobile, but on your laptop to file the return. Your chartered accountant also has to do that. What is the reason that we are asking? I am also okay if the returns were less by 1 crore. The returns are not less by 1 crore. The returns are more than last year. I'm telling you, if there's a technical glitch, I'm watching the figures every 1 hour. So the figures are going up to 2 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3.5 lakhs. Where are these numbers coming from?
Yes,
you, ma'am.
Ruchi.
4.83 as on 30th of December. This figure compares with 5.43 of yesterday. And last year by 31st December, it was 4.93. We have already crossed 5.62.
Thank-
Sorry? I would not have the figures right away.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We close the press conference now and wish you all a great 2022.